Most brand monitoring workflows are blind. You're testing prompts on your own machine, logged into your own accounts, and after you've searched your brand 100 or so different times, the AI already knows what you want to see. So you're actually not getting real results, you're getting personalized results. My goal in this video is to help you fix that. We're going to be building a manual testing workflow that removes the bias, fans out our prompts, and sets them up the right way. Then you can classify what you get back and have something you can actually use. To wrap it all up, I'm going to be sharing a free tool that we built on Hugging Face Spaces so you can run this yourself without touching API directly. So if you saw our last video on AI visibility monitoring tools, we looked at SE Visible, Keyword.com, Scrunch, and a few others. And really this is a complement to that. These tools are great at doing automated citation tracking at scale. And this is what you do before that, as well as alongside it to really understand what's happening at the prompt level. So let's dig into that. Before we get into the prompt testing ourselves, we need to talk about why manual prompt testing still matters. Automated tools are great for trend lines and share of voice over time, but they abstract away from something very important, and that's the actual AI response. When you want to know why your brand isn't showing up or what is being said when it does, you need to go and read the answer. The other reason manual testing matters is coverage. Your monitoring tool is only as good as the prompts that you feed it. So if your prompt set is shallow, you could be tracking the wrong things. So before we talk about the tools, we actually need to talk about prompt construction. In order to have good prompts and to fan them out in ways that help us really understand user behavior, we have to start with seed intent. Everything starts with that core seed term, the core query that represents what you want to cover. So for my agency, it may be AI search marketing or AI search monitoring tools. For a SaaS company, it might be project management software for remote teams. One seed, that's it. And you're going to generate everything from that seed. Once you've defined your seed, the next step is to fan out your seed into multiple queries. This is where most people stop way too early. They run 5 or 10 variations and they call it done. The problem is that LLMs don't answer queries. They answer intent. And intent varies across your audience, across the journey stage, and the framing. Duane Forrester, who has been in the SEO world for a number of years, has a really good book that covers this framework in much more detail. The book's called The Machine Layer, and it really gives you the right way to think about prompt construction. You need to fan out your seed across multiple axes. So one would be your role in audience. So best project management tool for developers, which is different, and you will get a different answer than best project management tool for CFOs. Same product category, different model behavior. You also need to look at the journey stage. Are people trying to learn? Are they trying to compare? Are they trying to choose? Are they trying to implement? Each one of these stages will produce different citations. So your brand may show up in compare queries, but get dropped in the choose queries. And that gap tells you something about your site. You also need to pay attention to verb patterns, how to, versus, best, alternative, checklist. These aren't just stylistic, they actually change the structure of the AI's response. Which source it may or may not pull is also related to the verbs being used. And constraints. Things like price point, region, compliance requirements. For example, HIPAA compliant project management software is going to be a completely different retrieval problem than your regular project management software. Now you may be thinking to yourself, wow, this is a lot more for me to do, and it may be hard for me just to sit around and ideate this. Well, the good news is I've built this query fan out generator into the top of our Hugging Face Spaces. All you need to do is add your seed, select your axis, and it generates a set of variants. For this workflow, you don't need 30 queries. A tight set of 10 to 15 well-constructed variants can actually be more useful than 30 shallow ones. So before we touch API and the Hugging Face tool, I actually want to show you what you're looking for. I'm going to be running this in a clean browser session. In fact, I'm even using incognito. And I'm going to generate a a seed intent and the multiple queries here, and then I'm gonna run them across the platforms manually. I can do this right now in ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini. Claude will make you log in. So that's a slightly different process. You're gonna have to do Claude through the API here. So to get this set up, I'm gonna go ahead and add my API keys. If you don't have API keys, they're very easy to get. Just research OpenAI API key, something like that. You're not gonna need a whole lot to get yourself started. So adding them all in here manually, Gradio will let you do that. And anytime you're done with the session, it deletes it, so you don't have to worry about your API keys being stored here at all. All right, so just for the sake of this video, I'm gonna do a seed intent for AI SEO agencies for defense contractors in Florida. Make sure you spell it right. It can handle it, but you know what? It's gonna help it out. Now you can change which one you want to use to generate your fan out queries. Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini, they're all actually gonna give you slightly different results. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Claude and generate the fan out queries. Like I said before, this has all the different constraints built in to help take your seed intent and expand it out the right way. Once we get this, we're actually gonna go into each of these, at least the 3 ones here, and see what the results look like when we use some of these expanded queries. All right, so if we go down here, we can see the query, and then what stage does it fit in, and some broad notes about the query, why it chose to build this specific query. So let me look here and see one that I wanna look at. This is fun, right? In 2024. A little bit further on that. Here we go. Florida Defense Tech Startup. Looking for an SEO agency that gets GovCon. Any recommendations? So we're going to run this here in chat. We are going to read this here in Gemini. And we are going to put this here in Perplexity. What I want to do is watch specifically for 4 things as each of these responses come out. The first, is the brand cited? Is it talked about, or is there a direct reference or attribution and a source link? So Perplexity tends to have a lot of different sources. I can go ahead and just click down here and see who's showing up. Right now, got it, thank you very much. All right, so I can go ahead and say, no, so far I have not seen my brand. I can even do a quick find, and I would make a note here that I am not showing up here in Perplexity. So there's a gap there. And this is a bottom of the funnel type question, so it's very important. Now let's go over to Gemini. Gemini is giving me 3 different brands. And again, none of them are my brands. They have not looked, they have not cited me, they have not mentioned me. I can even again look here at the sources, who they pulled from, and how these people are actually, or how these different brands are marketing themselves. And now let's go to ChatGPT, GovCon, Ocean 5, Alpha Toro, Lulu, Hilltech, 417. Here we go. Very, very similar. Different brands. Notice there's a lot of different brands across all of these. And I would make a note now that I am not being mentioned. The other thing you want to look at, even if there's no mentions of your brand or brands even at all in certain queries, you want to see if your content has been paraphrased. Does your content influence the answer but not have attribution? As we've seen, our content right now falls into the next category. Is it omitted? We see nothing. Your answer doesn't exist in the answer. So we know that we've got some gaps, and we need to study who is showing up, what types of content is showing up. Notice how these are bulleted, the things that are being pulled out on chat, and the things that are being pulled out here on Gemini, and the things that are being pulled out here on Perplexity. All of these are slightly different. Different brands are showing up within each of these different tools, and I need to start thinking about how they're being cited and how that information is being pulled in and where the gaps are on our site currently. As I said, you'll almost always see different outcomes across the platforms for the same query. This is not a bug. Each model has a different training set. Each model has different retrieval logic. Each model has different recency weighting. There's a lot of things that's going on. So the differences tell you where your content is well represented and where it isn't. So once you know what you're looking for, that's when you can start scaling it. And that's what this Gradio app we built on Hugging Face Spaces is all about. It runs your query set against the LLM APIs directly. And the reason we use APIs instead of the browser interface is the same reason that we use clean sessions. We're trying to avoid as much personalization as possible. API calls, they go to the model without user context. They're not seeing your data. So it's the closest thing we have to seeing what a random user would see. Here's how the workflow runs. You take these fan out queries and you can send them to the tester below. I just click this button. It's crossed out, a little bit of a bug. Once they're in there, now you're able to edit them and add anything you want to do. At the bottom of the funnel, I sometimes do like to add brand mentions into these as well. Maybe some mentions of my name within a certain query just to see how it responds to my brand and what's coming up when my brand is shown. So we could take one like, how does SMA marketing SEO work differently for government contractors, right? So I've added in some brand context here just to see what it'll pull. After you have these queries here, you select where you want to test these different platforms. And a very important thing to do is add your brand and your entity here. A lot of times brands will be mentioned, but they actually won't be cited. And having a mention is also very important, especially in the LLM research stage. So after I click this button, it's going to take a little bit of time, but the app sends each query to each API. It logs the run and response, and it returns the results that then you can review and classify. We'll link to this space in the description so that you can use it directly. The tool's free, but you do need your own API keys. But even at that query volume, we're talking about a very, very minimal cost. So once you have the platform responses, you can cluster them into 4 different outcome types. These are things that I've mentioned earlier. You've got cited with direct attribution and source. Mention is where your name has been dropped, but no citation. Paraphrased is where we think maybe the content was used, but it has not been attributed, and then omitted. Now this tool, for the most part, is going to see the mentions as well as the omissions. And if there is a direct link, it will also pull that as well. You can see here's the outcomes. And not only are we giving you the platform, the query you used, what was the outcome, but also the evidence to verify what happened. And then it gives you an analysis. So for this one on ChatGPT, it was not actually present. This was the brand that was present. Here's the diagnostics and what you could possibly do to help fix that. Now, Perplexity, for the same query, we actually were mentioned, and here is that mention. So you want to review this because, again, you want to know how you're being mentioned. You can also see who else is being mentioned, and then see that we are named here, but we're only getting that citation, so you have to click into that little one mention, that citation mention, in order to get the URL. But since there was no URL, it's not going to override that and say it was necessarily a citation, which I probably would count it. So tools aren't perfect. I'd probably fix this to mention and cite it. And you can go through each of these queries and see what the responses are like, because it's going to show you the platform, the query, and what happened within that specific response. So one of the patterns that you really want to pay attention to is where you're consistently omitted. If the same query type returns nothing across all 4 platforms, you know that that's a very clear content gap and not a tool problem. The model has no good source to pull from. For the paraphrasing without attribution, that's probably the hardest one. So your content is clearly influencing the answer. Maybe it's using the structure or the terminology or even the framing that's yours, but there's no citation. And that usually means that the content was retrieved but wasn't chunked in a way that made attribution easy. So you can fix that with clear entity coverage and better heading structure. Inconsistency across platforms is also a very useful signal. So if you're being cited on Perplexity but omitted on things like ChatGPT, that points to a retrieval difference. Often training data, recency, or source authority on a specific platform plays into this as well. So this audit is only useful if it changes what you produce. What you want to be able to do is prioritize the gaps in things like compare and choose stages first. Those are the highest intent moments. And if you're omitted there, that's where you're losing people who are already ready to make a decision. For omitted queries, create content that directly answers the intent. Not keyword stuffing, but actual substantive content for that specific question. For paraphrase content without attribution, like we talked about before, go back to that content that is being used and add clear entity markers. A strong H2 can help, and an explicit brand mention in the opening paragraph where you're being paraphrased, as well as structured data on that page, can give the model something unambiguous to cite. Then you want to rerun these same queries 2 to 4 weeks later and look for the change. You really have to think about this process as more of a loop and not a one-time audit. You run it, you fix it, and you run it again. So what can you do right now? Here's the action plan. Go ahead and pick one seed intent that matters to your business. Run it through the query found out within the generator and get that 10 to 15 variants. Run one query manually across ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini in a clean session. Log what you see. Once you're done with that, load the rest of them into the Hugging Face Spaces tool and let the API do the work. Classify your outcomes, fix your omission patterns, fix the content gaps. And if you're not already using automated tools to monitor what you're doing alongside this, the last video that we did will cover that on SE Visible, keyword.com, and a few others. But manual testing tells you what's happening now. Those monitoring tools will help you see what's improving. So you want to take these same queries that you're using in this tool set and track them with your monitoring tools. I hope you found this information super helpful. And if you did so, please subscribe. We try to put out practical research and practical GEO, SEO content as often as possible. And if you want to go deeper on any of this, go ahead and comment below. We do read them, and I'd love to reach out and set up a time where we can talk more. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy marketing.